So earlier today we talked about FGO getting an auto battle feature, and we kind of outlined, why we probably could get that, but they probably aren't going to implement that. I do think that if we want to get around all of the whole programming issues and, maybe whether or not they want you to be playing the game or not, this could be a good meet in the middle from the developers and the fan base, and that is going to be skip tickets. And you may be wondering, well, ZTL, if you're skipping the battle, isn't that actually like literally not playing the game? And kinda, right? Based on playing a lot of these other gacha games, I've gotten to see how they all do things when it comes to, auto battles, skip ticket features, quality of life upgrades, and I take a lot of those into account when I make some of these discussion videos. I mean, even earlier this year, I was going through some of the different base things that say like something like Arknights would get, and how we could get something like a Chaldea system that's kind of similar in FGO. I really like seeing what these other games do, and just kind of theorizing if we could get something like that for FGO, because it seems like a game that's going to be around for quite a long time. I mean, Nasu's going to be leaving at the end of part 2, but hey, part 2 is not going to be ending anytime soon. I mean, we have another Ordeal Call chapter to get through, then we also have the actual final, big boy chapter we got to get through, and then even though he's stepping down, Sakurai is going to be taking over as the main writer, the person that did, Lost Belt 2, 5.2, did a lot of help on like the Extra and Extella games, that type of person is going to be coming in, and they're going to be taking over as the main writer. And so if they're doing that, I mean, that just tells me this game is going to be around for a while, and we're going to have to get with the times in some capacity. And it's with a feature like this, I think we can please both the developers and the fans. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. If you do appreciate these discussion videos, the daily FGO content, a like on the video and a subscription to the channel would always be greatly appreciated, as it's free and helps me out more than you know. But let's start getting into this. So the concept of a skip ticket, if you are not familiar, sorry, I'm laughing, but I guess there are some people that only do play FGO. They don't play other games, so they don't know what like a skip ticket idea is. But basically, it's just something that you would use to go into a stage that you have already completed, you use it up, and then it basically just gives you the rewards you would have gotten for clearing that stage. And yes, this even works on things that have, chance-based drops and whatnot. It'll be like, oh, it's like a 20% chance to drop this. You do 5 runs, maybe you get 1 of the material you were looking for, or maybe you get lucky. It functions the same way. It basically just runs it as if you were going to go into that node and complete it normally, but you just save a bunch of time. You just don't actually have to get in there and play the node because you've already done it before. Why bother doing something like that? Now, this sounds really awesome to a lot of players, I'm sure, because if you need a bunch of materials, you're like, dude, let me use like 40 billion skip tickets on, the Fuyuki stages and let me farm these bones, dude, because doing the 3 AP nodes is absolutely crazy. But how I think they could balance this with the developers wanting you to play the game, because they don't work on the game for you to not actually sit down and play it, I think they could make them like a daily limited thing, or maybe you only get a set amount a week. It's like, oh, you get like, here's your set amount of skip tickets for the week. Don't spend them all in one place now. Maybe you get 3 per day, something along those lines. I mean, that's what we have for the whole reset thing for the pure prisms, although it's not 3 a day. They just gave us 3 to start out with. But, you 3 a day. I think that seems pretty fair with your 3 daily missions. They give you the mana prisms. They give you the item that you can get every single day. You can get one of the mats. I think you throw in a skip ticket for each one of those that you do. That's kind of nice. And then if they don't expire, you could save those up for stuff like lottos. I think that could be really good. And then you still have it take up AP, right? So people still got to use apples to refresh your AP and all that, or you can use rainbow apples if you're really just big balling like that. But I think it does shoot that gap rather well, and that the players are going to be very happy, and that they have a way to make the farming less of an intense grind, as FGO is one of the games that I think has one of the more intense grinds of all the like mobile games that I've played. It's not quite as bad as, say, doing like relic farming in Star Rail or something along those lines, but hey man, it can get pretty bad sometimes, especially if you need a material that does not really drop very easily. And so if you lessen that blow by also just not making it that you're completely skipping all the gameplay, both parties I think can be happy. I think that leaves everybody satisfied. Now the other way, and I'm pairing this with the skip ticket video over here, and that would be being able to do multiple runs at once. See, that is something that the Bleach game has that I really like. You can use 10 of your tickets to complete a stage and you get 10 times the rewards instead of using the normal 1. Or I'm playing Triple Z right now, and one of the things that you can do is like, yeah, you can complete it normally for like your daily energy, or you can just pile on a bunch of enemies and, kind of just blow through all of your stamina a bit faster, but you also rack up extra rewards because there's more enemies there. I think FGO could benefit from something like that. especially because every time we get a new story chapter and stuff, there's just more and more to grind. It's getting to the point that you used to just be able to like log in, you could use your blue apples and, you know, just not have to worry about anything. But now it's really hard to justify doing that unless you're really stocked up on material. But even when Ordeal Call 2 dropped, I was like, man, I gotta actually play the game. I gotta use my spare AP to farm these free quests, and then Ordeal Call 3 drops right after. I'm like, now there's 2 more mats that are all over the place as well. It's getting a little bit out of hand. So getting some extra materials, you know, some skip tickets, an auto battle feature, you know, maybe being able to do more than one run at once, you know, something along those lines could really make our lives easier. And they kind of have that idea with advanced quests. They know that it's a really bad grind. That's why they keep giving us these CEs that are boosting the drop rates of specific materials and even letting us max limit break them at this point. So it only will take up 1 slot in, you know, your team, so you can still use your bond CEs and whatnot. But it's like, man, if you understand that it's a huge problem, you know that it's a really intense grind, so much so that even the voice actors during like the JP streams will talk about stuff like that. They'll be like, man, I had to go real hard to try to get all these skill mats to get like my favorite character done. Then maybe it's time to bite the bullet and program something like this into the game. And I can't imagine it's any more difficult than trying to give us like NPs that can change their card type, or, you know, something like Super Alpha that can literally change it to a different character. It's gotta be easier to just put in an item that just says, all right, you use this, bada boom, bada bing, there you go. You got your clear, still cost your AP, moving on. Or to just say, I want to use like 300 AP on this stage, or however much it costs, because, you know, some stages are like 21, some are 40, whatever have you. Like, I want to basically get like 6 clears out of this. Then just let us be able to do something like that. Or, I mean, this is kind of a whole different thing entirely, but Arknights also has something that is kind of in the middle of this. So we talked about in the last video how they have their own auto battle feature that kind of copies what you did, saves that, and then will do another run copying all of your moves. But what you can also do is set it to do, okay, you can do up to like 1 to 6. And you can say, I want you to run this 6 different times, right? And that in and of itself is already very useful, right? Even something like that, if they want to go that route of being able to do like some type of numerous run system, I think would also go a long way, because it really helps if it's like the end of an event on Arknights and I have not been playing because we're playing something else, that I can kind of get in there and get more caught up by doing stuff like that because I have these materials. And it just makes a lot of these other games more enjoyable to play. I mean, I have been talking about Triple Z and how much I've been enjoying that, but it is one of the mobile games that I'm not able to put as much time into right now because they don't have the other benefits of, say, something like Blue Archive that I've really been able to just kind of get into a good groove of playing, because you have not only the ability to skip certain stages, or you have the, you know, stamina or whatever they call it in that game, but the game can also just play itself on auto. You can pay attention and, you know, select all the skills, but I'm not doing all that. I got time to pay attention to these dudes running around and the different armor types or things. No, I auto make my team and then you throw me in there. You guys go do it. Run it at 3 times speed, hit auto button, they do it. I'm literally just here to collect stuff and to build the best cafe I possibly can. But you see what I mean? It's like some of these games are easier for me to keep up with because they give me the tools to just be able to log in, put like 30 minutes into it, and then I can be done. I can dip out and then have to go focus on some of the other games that actually require my attention, or I can work on video stuff along those lines. I mean, it's so nice that I can be sitting here right now and I could be like recording a video and I can have like Arknights, Dokkan, Blue Archive, some other game running in the background to help me min-max on my time. And I understand that's not for everybody, you know, not everybody's playing like 7 different gacha games or something along those lines. But when I like to try out all these other games and kind of see what other companies are doing and what other cool features they have in their games that I would like to see us get, you know, sometimes you got to be able to min-max like that. And obviously, you know, just for people that are going to be in the comments being like, we got to get ZTL some help. Is this a cry for help? Don't worry. I don't always stick with all the games that I play. Like something like Nikkei I played for maybe like a couple of weeks and I was like, this ain't for me. But I at least checked it out, right? Genshin I played for like a month and I was like, I mean, it's really fun to play, but I can't really see myself putting a whole lot of time into it. And obviously Genshin also has its own problems that we could maybe do another video if we just want to rag on Genshin or something. But yeah, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below on what you guys think of the whole skip ticket, or maybe being able to do numerous runs at once. Just things that you would like to see FGO implement that would make the grind just a little less grindy. And hey, there are other mobile games that I have not played. Like one of the ones that I am thinking about trying out is, I think it's Azure Lane is what it's called, the boat game. You know, maybe they have something really crazy that's also, you know, just super convenient, makes your life that much easier that I don't know about, right? Maybe there's some other game called The Guy's Cool Fantasy World Jumbo Adventure, right, that I've just not ever heard of. Maybe that's got some really cool features. So tell me about the Jumbo Adventure features in the comments down below. Let me know if there's something that I'm not noticing, because I love keeping up with these things and just find it very interesting to see what these different companies are doing to try to get edges on each other, or what they all copy from one another, because they just acknowledge that those are really good features to have. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice one, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace, late guys.